Hi everybody, it's me again, and I'm bringing you another resin project. And the reason I'm bringing this to you is that today I received in the mail some of these gorgeous little filigree frames. They're bezels. Bezels? Yeah, something like that. Anyway, hope I got that right. Anyway, I just thought they were so pretty. My friend Robin sent these to me, and I could not wait to do something with them. So here I am, about an hour later, and I made my first one. And look at that, you guys. I used dried flowers. Is that gorgeous or what? Oh my word. It's so pretty. So we're going to make one of these today so that you guys can see how easy it was and how fun it was. And yeah, so what you're going to need is you can use any kind of frame device. You can use a bezel. You could use probably a key ring. You could use a key ring, or you could use just one of your little molds and kind of do the same thing. But we're not using a mold. We're using this because it's so beautiful. And I'm just going to show you really quickly how easy it is, how great it would be to make a gift for someone in a half hour's time. If you don't have a lot of time to prepare, say you just realized, oh my gosh, it's Mary's birthday and I forgot. Well, now you know what you could make if you have a bezel on hand or the right bits and pieces. And I just got a little something on that tape. And there it goes. So I put a piece of Scotch tape. You know what? We're going to do this over again because I touched it too much. So we'll take our piece of Scotch tape, and I'm going to make, you know, a fairly decently long piece so that I have kind of space to work with, and so that I can touch these ends without touching the middle. And so what you want to do is you want to try and lay it down flat. Now your gloves are not going to want to let go of this, so that's the hard part, is getting it to let go. Let me see if this cotton tip will let go a little bit easier. No. All right, so I'm just going to hold it at one end, which is kind of what I did with the other one, but I thought maybe I could get this one to stick. And I'm going to put this down in the center here, making sure that the tape goes over each edge on the back. And I did get it just a little bit crooked, so I'm going to reset just a little bit. And you want to make sure it's as tight as you can get it on the back, and that there are no wrinkles. You don't want a bunch of wrinkles. Now if you get a couple of little wrinkles, it's not going to kill the project, you guys, so don't fight with it too much. It's can be a little bit, the tape can be a little bit finicky. You know how tape wants to do. And so that's pretty good. I don't know if you guys can see. That's what my tape looks like on the back. You can kind of see the light shining on it. So that's going to be fine. I've got it over each of these edges on the back, and I'm going to press it down really hard, because this tape is what's going to keep resin from flowing outside of this frame. So, and we're just getting right to this project, you guys. I'm not going to waste any time. It's going to be a fairly short video, so I'm just going to add my resin a decent amount so I can get it to flow to the edges. And I'm going to take one of my little cotton swabs here, and I'm just going to push it up into the corners. And on this one, you guys, we are actually going to start adding the flowers right from the get-go. We're not going to cure this back piece of resin because in this particular piece, the back is the back. And so we don't have to worry too much about if the flowers kind of don't look the same on the back, because they're not going to look the same, because you're going to get the back of the flowers is going to be to the back of the frame. So it doesn't matter, you guys. We need plenty of room to be able to put these flowers in so that they're not sticking out of the top of the resin. So the top is where you really want to watch your P's and Q's. I'm literally sitting here in a towel. I just colored my hair, you guys, and I couldn't wait to do this. So I waited and got I did the first one while I was waiting for my color to set, and then I had to go wash it out. And so now we're going to do this one. Okay, so let me pan in a bit because I want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. And I should have thought of that ahead of time. I'm going to go right about there. Okay, that should be a good spot. I think you guys can see that pretty well. And then let's start using some of our flowers. And I'm just going to use the same palette of flowers that I used for my first one because I've already got them out and I love the first one so much, so why not have two that are like that? I've got some little teeny flowers here that are off to the side and I'm afraid they're going to fall off of my mat. So I'm just going to kind of, if I can get a hold of them, they're so tiny, move them over here so that I can use them. And this time I'm going to do it just a little bit differently because I forgot to put the greenery really on the very back of this one, which is what I wanted to do. And so I definitely had to have some greenery in there, so I just went ahead and added some sort of towards the bottom. So I think we're going to take this little piece here and I'm going to have to cut it down, so we'll cut a little bit off of it. We may use both pieces, but we have to readjust them. So I'm going to cut the little leaf off and pick which side I want to be the front, and that will be this side. So I think that's going to fit in there okay. I'm just going to lay it right there on top of that resin. And it's just going to kind of sink in there a little bit. And I want to pull the stem so that it's at the very bottom. Just like that. And then this piece, let's see if I have one that's even smaller than that. I need a little tiny piece of it. Let's see, is this one narrower? No, not really, but it is a little bit more, let's see. I gotta look some more. I've got some more in here, so let me just pull this. Oh, here's a little one. Yeah, this one's shorter. So I'm gonna put that right there, sort of in the corner. Maybe I'll turn this one just slightly. There, I kind of like how that looks. And you guys just go with your own, go with the flow, you know, don't get too picky and crazy about how every little thing looks, because you got to go with the flow a little bit on these kinds of things. I'm going to cut off some of these little white ones because I definitely like to have a little bit of white in there to offset the colors. So we are going to cut off a couple of these white ones, and I'll just pick the ones I want to use. And a couple of the little purple ones on here. There. And I definitely want a little bit of this sort of reddish color in there, so we'll just kind of drop that down. Maybe I'll save that one and use, oopsies, it went right in there. Of course, of all the places on the table it could go, it went right in there. I don't want you in there yet, not yet. There. Okay, so that'll be good with the red ones, I think. We don't have a whole lot of space on here, guys, so we just need to kind of go with what we have. This time I do have one of these pink ones that I pulled out from another thing of flowers. And I think what I'm gonna do, this one, I'm gonna cut right there. I've got those and I've got those. And this one, actually, I think I might cut one off of there too. I have an idea and I hope my idea works. I kind of did it with the first one, but let's just see. See, these purple ones are quite large for this kind of a project. So I did cut the purple one in the first one as well. So here's what I'm going to do. You see how I have sort of a flat side there? I'm going to put that flat side right up against the wall of the frame, just like that. And then what I'm thinking, see, this one's going to be too big too. So I should have just cut the two together on this one as well. Oh, and I've got it turned upside down. It's even prettier on the other side, look. And this one, what I was thinking I might do is just kind of put them sort of together-ish. Sort of like that. But, well, maybe we'll just put this one kind of right there. And let that one scoot up a little bit. There. Try not to push too hard down onto the tape though, you guys, because the tape can come free from this frame, so we don't want to mess with it too much. Okay, so there we've got that. So this piece here is going to go back with its friends. I've got some purple Queen Anne's lace in here that is absolutely gorgeous, and I definitely want some of that in there, but I think I want to turn that sort of like that. Maybe I should have brought that down a little bit. I think I'm gonna bring this down sort of into this corner here. I love Queen Anne's lace. Oh my goodness, I love it so much. It's so beautiful. I love it in white. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the little red flowers. This one's a little bit thick. I want to have them sort of climbing a little bit up the side. And maybe, let's see, did I have a third one? I thought I cut 3 of them off. I guess I didn't. I definitely want one more, and we're going to take this little tiny one, not that one. We're going to take this little tiny one here. And I'm going to have her popping up sort of in this corner. Just like that. Isn't that pretty already? And then I want to take some of my little white bits here. And I'm just going to kind of... Okay, so let's take this piece. See, these are going to kind of add that little bit of contrast that we want to have. Put a little piece down here. And I like this one. And I love this one. Well, I think I'm going to let that one kind of come out from those flowers. Okay. And then we have these pretty little purple ones. And you don't have to be real picky about where you put your dried flowers, you guys. If you just want to randomly place flowers, you can do that. Do it however you want. You don't have to be real picky about where everything goes. Okay. And I want one of these white ones right there. If I can get it to let go. I don't have quite as much resin in this one as I had in the other one when I started out working on it. So, you know, I really love this purple one, but this one, I'm just kind of not loving it. So, what we're going to do, you guys, is we're going to take this purple one, because I do love that purple, and we're going to put that right there. Because the other one just wasn't quite cutting the mustard. I do have this pink pink here. Maybe if I take a small piece of this one, it's a little different than that other one I was playing with. I thought that other one would show up really nicely, but I didn't care for the way it was, the way the color was going. Okay, Carol. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we won't put that in there. I'm feeling like I don't want that there. So what I might do instead, though, is to put one more of these little red flowers sort of right here. Because I do feel like I need a little bit more color going in there. And then I have this little sprig here from that Queen Anne's lace. We'll put a little piece of that. I just hate when everything sticks to these tweezers. What good are they if everything sticks to them? And And you see, you guys, I am wearing my gloves today. I want to tell you all, I had a subscriber that did mention to me and reminded me that I needed to be a little more cautious with the resin, and I need to be responsible in telling you guys that you really, really, really should wear your gloves and your mask, because resin is one of those things that you can have allergies to. You can, if you do it a lot and you're not working in a well-ventilated space, you can have really bad reactions to it. And so I just want to remind you all that, you know, be careful with how you're using resin, because it's not a joke. It's true that it can cause some issues for you, and I don't want anybody to get any kind of damage. So read on the instructions what you need to do, and read on the internet, you know, about resin, and, you know, the important things about working with resin, so that you don't have something terrible happen to you, because that would hurt my heart. So just be careful, use it wisely, and don't take any chances. I noticed, just as an FYI, and I didn't realize this until I got that message from my subscriber, on my lips, I noticed I was getting a little bit of a rash and so forth, and I'm starting to wonder if that might be because of the resin, and that I haven't been taking the care every single time to do what I'm supposed to be doing. And again, as a person who's doing this on YouTube, I need to be responsible for, you know, teaching you guys that part of the process as well. Although that is something you can learn by the product details and instructions and things like that. I'm sorry, you guys, I have to get my dog out of here. She just decided to wander in, and she can't be in here. Go on. Go on. Go on. Go. I'll be out in just a minute. Go, go, go. Gotta close the door, you guys. She just wants to follow me everywhere, and I love it. But when I'm trying to work, it's not so great. Okay, so I'm gonna take, this is some Queen Anne's lace that I had in another package, and it's got a little bit more of a brighter white, if you can see that in the little flowers. So I want it to show, and I don't feel like I have enough white showing up in here, so we're gonna make that happen. Put a piece there, and you can see already it does make a huge difference just to add a couple of little specks of white in with your flowers. I'll put that one there. And I'm going to try and break a little bit more off of that one. And put a couple of these in here. I'm having a little bit of that shaky thing going on today, you guys, so forgive me. Sometimes my hands just don't work as well as others. Oops, I was going over to the other one. Okay, and I want one piece, at least one piece. Gosh, I am just terrible with these tweezers. I gotta tell you guys, they do not like me. I want to get one right over here. At least one, maybe two. I think one more. This pretty little white one right there. Okay, so we've got that one filled. Now we're going to go ahead, make sure all of the flowers are inside of the lines. Okay, just like that. And now I'm going to add more resin right over the top. And this is going to make everything pop. Just this bit of resin over the top just kind of smooths everything out, gives it that glassy look on top. And I'm going to take my cotton swab and I'm just going to kind of move it around. I don't want to get too much resin in here because I don't want it to overflow over the edges. So, but I'm taking it right up to the edges here. And while I'm doing this, I'm sort of pushing these flowers down, because at first they do tend to want to float a little bit. So this way you push it down, they sink into the resin and they get soaked, and then they will stay down. So just push on them just a little bit. Don't be too harsh with them because you can bruise the flowers, and some of the flowers will get, if they get bruisey, then the coloring gets all messed up in them. So we don't want that either. Okay, so I think with the exception of this one here, which that's the thick one I was telling you guys when I first laid it down, it was awfully thick. I think I need a little bit more resin so I can kind of dome it. Just a little drop. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to put this little leaf here in there somewhere, and I forgot. I think I'm going to put that right there. And I can just push that right down under the resin, just like that. Okay. And what I'm going to want to do is, number one, I'm going to take this little torch, just because it's sitting right here. I'm going to go over the top because we don't want any bubbles. And that kind of helps me to see where the resin kind of isn't covering some of the flowers because they kind of floated a little bit. So that gives me the ability to see sort of that imperfection in the light. And I can just touch down a little bit, push that guy down, take my torch one more time, pop the bubbles. I'm going to get rid of my resin here for now so that the light doesn't get to it, because we're just going to move our lamp right over here to cure this guy. And you're going to have to do both sides, you guys, when you cure these. Now, it would be good if you put a clear layer of resin. If you got something that's thick enough, that if you put that little layer of resin down and cure it, and then put your flowers in, because that way the bottom is already cured and you don't have to worry about turning it over to do it. Oh my word, it's one little flower, for goodness sakes. I'm just trying to get these little tiny flowers out of the way. Okay. I like that one. So it's going in. I like that one a lot. There we go. Just pushed it right down in there. This one's pretty full compared to the other one. I didn't put quite as many flowers in the first one that I did. But it's actually very gorgeous. I love that one. Okay, so we've got that there. So now we're going to grab our lamp and bring it over here to the table, and I'm going to put it on for 60 seconds on the front and 60 seconds, or actually 90 on the front and 90 on the back. Okay, so I cured both sides of it, and I did pull the piece of tape off the back. Came right off the back, and you can see that's what the back looks like. So you can see any wrinkle that's in that tape is going to show on the back. But that's not a big deal because it's the back side. So we're not going to worry or fret over that. What I'm going to do though is I am going to dome the front. And by doming, what I mean is putting a layer of resin and letting it go to the edges, because the top still came out just a little bit bumpy because a couple of those flowers were a little thicker, which is okay. And I did this with my first one too. So I'm just going to move that resin up to the edges. And if you do it just right, and just be careful, take it slow, don't rush this part. Just take it up to the edges so that it doesn't flow over. And that's why you got to kind of take your time with this part. It's not hard, it's just, you know, keeping your eye on where you're scooting it to, and don't push it over the edge. If you do, that's okay too, because you can take a cotton swab and you can, or a toothpick or something, and you can pull that resin right off the top of the frame. It's not a big deal. Even if you get a little that goes over, don't worry about it. It's not that big a deal, you guys. And what I'm doing is I'm looking in the light, because in the light you can see in certain ways if it went all the way to the edge. So right now I've got my head way over to the left here. I'm looking at this side, and I'm just going along this edge here to make sure that the resin isn't is going to the edge, because if you don't, what'll happen is it'll look bumpy. So you do want to get it all the way to those edges, you guys. And this is why I say this part you got to take your time with. And then if it starts to look like it's getting a little heavy on that edge, just pull it in towards the middle and it'll be fine. Doing the same thing on this side and on the top and bottom edges. This edge actually did really well. Okay, so I've got that on there. And I'm going to go ahead and put this under the lamp for 60 seconds. And I'm just going to bring my lamp to me. And it's really quite a thin layer of resin that you just put on that top, so it'll probably cure likely in about 30 seconds, but it's best to cure it a little bit longer if you can, because you want to make sure that that resin gets good and hard and it's not sticky at all. And then I thought what I would do is I took some of my little roses out, and I thought maybe I might put a couple of those on there. We'll look at it and see if that's what we want to do. The other thing that I could do is I could take some of my flatback rhinestones. I'll look at these too and see if maybe this is a better idea. I'll put a couple of those on my table here. Okay, so we got our 60 seconds in. And I'm going to look at this sort of under the light, and it looks really nice on top. Look at how pretty that looks. Let's go ahead, let me get my little felt thing here. There we go. Now you can really see those flowers. I think I've got it upside down, yeah. So you can really see how beautiful those flowers are. It looks gorgeous. It just looks like glass on top. So let's look here. Let's see what we want to do. What I was thinking was maybe putting a rose here and a rose here. And it does look really pretty. It just kind of gives it that vintage effect and puts some of the flowers on the outside of it. Or we can take, where's my rhinestone picker? I've got stuff everywhere around here, you guys. Everywhere right now. Got quite the mess going on. Because yesterday I just moved stuff around and I kept on working. I don't see my picker anywhere. There it is, I think. Yep, there it is. Okay. So, let's see what these look like. Come on, picker. Do your job. It's not going to do it. I am just not having any luck with things today, you guys. So if I put maybe one, and these are my AB rhinestones. It's wanting to stick to the tweezers. Let's go this way. And let's try this one here. That actually looks really, really nice. I think I like the rhinestones a little bit better. Oh, I just lost a rhinestone. That's okay, I'll find it. It's still on my table. Gosh, usually when I drop these, they drop the right way. Of course, not today. So let's see, these two are a little bit smaller ones. So maybe if I put one, not there, because we've got the hole right there. Maybe right there. And right there. Maybe I should do the same thing on these. I don't know, I really kind of liked it better here. Yeah, I think we're going to do it just like that. We're going to put those little rhinestones on there. So now I get to do this again. Pick them up. Those are the two bigger ones, and these are the two smaller ones. And I'm going to just dot some resin. I'm just putting a little bit of resin in my little silicone dealy bobber. Okay, so they're going to go right there, right there. And I have a hard piece of resin on there. Let's get a new swab. There, 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 and there. Okay, so you go there, and you go there, and there, and there. So let me make sure these are all centered appropriately. Okay, I like that. And this I can just kind of put under the lamp, and maybe we'll do the same thing on the first one that I did. I really like that. Looks good. Okay, so let's just let's do that on this one. Let's see. I have some bigger ones and some littler ones in here, so I have to kind of, in that little spot, so I have to kind of dump it to know which ones are which, or to make sure I get enough of each size out. Okay, I have one eensy weensy one. I love those eensy weensy ones, and you know, I run out of those so fast. And it's so frustrating because those are actually my favorite ones to use in a lot of these small projects because they're so tiny. I think I might have some of those in here. That have gotten mixed in. Let's see. Maybe not. Yeah, it's not teeny tiny. Those ones are the same size. Let's see. And then these two. Okay, I think that's what I'm going to do. Actually, I don't know if those are the same size. I think they're not. Those two are, though. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add some resin just on those 4 little spots. Okay, and we're just going to use our tweezers, and we're going to take these two and these two. Make sure they're centered. Okay. And I will put this one under the lamp. And now these could be used as necklaces or, you know, whatever else you want to turn them into, honestly. Could take and put a flower on each side if you wanted to, next to the rhinestone. That looks really pretty too. But I don't want to take it that far. I want to leave it just the way it is. I'm trying to think if I have any dangles that I could use to kind of dress this up with. I'm going to find one. I'll be right back, you guys. Okay, I found a couple of things. We could go one of two ways. I've got this pretty dangle, which I love, love, love. And since we have two of these, we can put them on, both of them. And then I've also got this one that just has, you know, some beads on it, and that looks gorgeous as well. And you guys, these are just two that I already had made that I pulled aside so that I could just show you what it would look like, and I think I'm probably going to keep them on there. So this one, whoopsie, I'm just going to take my eye pin. I'm going to connect it right to the bottom of this. And I really should be using a jump ring, you guys. I know this 100%, but I do not have my jump rings handy right now. So we're going to do this way. Straighten that out. Let's see. Here's what I need to do. Actually, it's on there. So, I've got that one on there, and what I probably will do is I will add a jump ring in a little while. But this is just to kind of give you an idea of how pretty it looks with that on there. And then this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to resin it right onto this piece, and this is really, really pretty. It's just rhinestones. But what we're going to do is, where's my resin bottle? Here it is. We're going to take, oh, actually I still have resin in this little cup. We're going to use that. I'm just going to dab this resin right onto my pendant here. And I'm going to dab a little bit onto the back of this. And get my other resin out of the way. And I'm going to lay it down right here on top of this surface. Whoopsies. Get it sitting in there straight so that it doesn't cure crooked. I may have to hold it. Okay. I also have to remember that it's got to be turned the right way too, so that the pieces that dangle off of this don't go in the wrong direction. And I keep touching it. It's these gloves, I'll tell you. They're going to be the death of me. Okay, so I'm going to pop it on for 30 seconds. I had some other stuff, but this is all stuff that wouldn't work with this. So what I need to do is I need to take a day and maybe do a video on making dangle charms and just make myself a whole bunch of dangles. so that I have them for videos like this where I just want to add something to the bottom, but I don't want to work it into the video. Okay, so there we go. And it's on there good. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my resin over here and I'm going to add some more, just kind of around both of these pieces here. Because we want to make sure that it's on there really, really good. And I'm going to pop it back under the light. Grab my little piece of felt here so that I can show you guys how gorgeous they are. There's that one. And there is that one. So this is the one we made today, and this is the one I made beforehand. Actually, I made both of them today, but so that's what they look like, you guys. Are they not absolutely gorgeous? These are so pretty, you guys, and what awesome gifts they would make. You know, and it is something that you can do if you've got, you know, a couple of bezels around, or bezels. Those are not, what are they? Cabochons. Cabochons. I think that's what they are. Anyway, if you have a couple of these around that you can play with, just grab yourself a piece of tape and a little bit of resin, some dried flowers or stickers or whatever you want to use to go on the inside, and you've got yourself a really, really awesome gift for somebody. I just think it's beautiful. And I love making stuff like this. You guys know that. But this really, really, really turned out even better than I expected them to turn out. So yay. All right, you guys, so that's it for this video today. I thank you all very much for watching. I hope you'll hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Don't forget the notification bell so that you get notified when I do future videos. And make a comment down below. Let me know what you think of these guys. And should I make more? Should I have them in my shop? You know, is this something that you guys would be interested in purchasing, or would you just, you know, just make your own? You guys, you can do this. It's so easy and so fun. And I know it takes a little bit of time and a little bit of money to get together, you know, all of your resin supplies and stuff, but it sure is a lot of fun to play around with. But remember, safety first. Make sure you're being safe in the way that you're using it, wearing your gloves, wearing your mask, and you guys will have a ton of fun doing this stuff. So anyway, God bless you all. Take care of yourselves. Love your family. Hug them often. Tell them you love them every day if you can. And you're amazing. Stay amazing. And I will see you in the next video. God bless you all. Take care. Bye-bye.